Good morning. It is September 1st. Normally the fall gives me anxiety, but for whatever reason this September 1st I don't have anxiety, thank goodness. I think I'm just looking forward to the structure of the school year. But I have to work in a minute. It was definitely much better getting up earlier today. My body I had to go to bed earlier so I would wake up on time, and then my body naturally woke up at 6 o'clock exactly. I'm like, I don't even know how that happened. And then my alarm was set for 6:30 though, so I was like, well, I'll just sleep a little longer. And so I woke up at 6:30, and at nighttime I listen to the Hallow app. They have these it pretty much just reads the Bible to you, and then I never really listened in the morning, but I was like, I'm gonna listen to the Hallow app in the morning. And they have it's the guy from The Chosen, Jonathan Rumi. I love him. He plays Jesus in the show Chosen, which I love that show. But so it's his voice, so it feels like Jesus is talking to you because you're so used to watching the show and having him be Jesus. But today's was about when he tells them to throw the net out when they're fishing in Luke. He tells them to throw the net out, and the guy's like, look, Jesus, we have been fishing all day and we haven't caught anything. He's like, but since you say so, we'll do it. And then they throw the net out, and then they're just overloaded with all these fish. And then it shows, it's like a little fish miracle for these people. But yeah, I love that part. When you watch that part in the show, it's so good. You'll just cry. It's so good. But anyway, today's devotional 9:1 in the Anchor book, An Anchor for the Soul. 9:1. Obedience and submission go together hand in hand. A submissive heart does not consider itself better than others. Obedience means to do what you are told. If you want to be in God's favor, ask Him to teach you how to be submissive and obedient. Then you will shine as a light to the world, just like Jesus. And then the verses are, as obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you had when you lived in ignorance, but just as He who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. 1 Peter 1:14-15. Peter and the other apostles replied, we must obey God rather than human beings. Acts 5:29. Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. And I was thinking about that the other day, about obedience. Not really obedience, more about submission. When I first started being a Christian, that was a big thing, having to learn how to submit, surrendering to God. Instead of rebelling, doing what you want to do, surrendering. And it over time it became much easier. Now it's so easy to surrender things. You give your children to God, you give your house, your finances, everything, you surrender it to the Lord, right? And you want to be in that place because everything is so much better when you do that. So it's you learn from doing it that there's reason to do it. Everything is better when you release that control to God. But I was thinking about surrender in terms of the Fly Lady the other day, because it's you can't be and I'm not always trying to talk about the Fly Lady, but you can't be 80% surrendered to the Fly Lady system and the rest of it, like 20%, you're holding out like, I refuse to just wear my shoes in the house, or I refuse to actually make my bed in the morning. Like, I'm going to do most of it, but I'm gonna not surrender all of it. And I was like, I just kept thinking about that. I'm like, if you're not 100% surrendered to the fly lady, you're gonna still have problems. And it's the same as God. Like, you have to be to be all in. You either 100% surrendered or you're still rebelling. So it's funny because like today what I do around the house for like the fly lady is I wear water shoes because I just hate wearing regular shoes. But I have these water shoes, which I feel like that's a good kind of happy medium. You know, they're like shoes. They're water shoes, but they're not slippers. Like, I've worn them out like driving, and I've even gone to the grocery store in them and stuff. But today I couldn't find either. I have 2 pair of these water shoes. I couldn't find either of them. I was like, what's going on where I can't find my water shoes today of all days? 9-1 when I'm doing a good job, like with my routines and stuff. Why is today of all days suddenly my water shoes are missing? So now I have other shoes on today. I was just thinking about that, about surrender and submission and stuff like that. But anyway, I think my lawn guy is coming today. He cut the grass super long last time because I've been skipping every other mow. I've been skipping because it was kind of a drought and the grass wasn't growing. And I think he got upset that I kept skipping every other mow because he's losing money, but I don't want to pay that much either. And so then last time he cut my grass so long. Like, I went out to look at the grass afterwards. It was like matted down more than it was actually cut. I'm like, I'm paying for this service. Like, this is costing me a lot of money. And now I have to have him come out more often just because the grass is now super long. So I told him this time, it's like an app where you can like message them, and I'm like, ooh, please cut the grass shorter this time because I don't want it to be matted down like that when he leaves. And I'm not trying to be all anal about it, but I have to conserve my money. So it's like, if I'm gonna pay God knows how much for a mow, like, I want it to be mowed, where if I choose to skip the next service, it's okay because the grass has at least been cut. So usually he comes around this time. He might come soon, so I have to go inside. I don't usually, usually I'm working when he's here, so be weird if he shows up while I'm doing my video. So I'll be like, can you please cut the grass shorter? Please, because literally, what am I paying for if you don't actually cut the grass? But that's it. I should probably go inside now. Oh, and my house smells like peppermint now, which I'll tell you about later. We don't have a cat pee problem, thank goodness. I did change the furnace filter and the filter, like the air conditioner filter or whatever that is. It was really bad. And then I found with the UV light some cat throw up. So that wasn't the smell though. That UV light works amazing though. If someone did have cat pee, they would find it. I love that little UV light. I'm so glad I bought that little flashlight. But we don't have a cat pee problem. I think the problem was the drain, because the drain had backed up, I don't even know when, in the spring, and I had to have the guy come out and like get the tree roots out of the pipe and everything, and I didn't do a really good job cleaning by the drain at that time because it was so much chaos. We were like in like disaster mode, like recovering from this backed up drain thing. And then it had rained a lot recently, and I think somehow with the rain and or something was making that smell. I think it wasn't the cat pee. So I'm gonna go down there soonish and clean better by the drain and see if I can dump some vinegar or something down there. I don't know what, but I think that's what the smell was. So now my house smells like peppermint because I turned on the essential oil diffuser, and I got some peppermint spray for the house, and I put a jar with baking soda with peppermint oil. I just have peppermint all over the house. So now the house smells like peppermint, which is a much better smell. And then honestly, changing that furnace filter really seems like that like really helped. Like, but I still have to go clean the cement floor by the drain area and do that grossness. Would have been better if I did it right away because it would have still been wet, but now it's all dried and hardened, so now I have to like make it wet just to clean it. So I will do that eventually, soonish, and then I'm glad it's not a... I think I would have preferred the pee. If there was pee, it would be easier to clean up than this drain issue. So actually this problem is kind of worse, but at least the house smells good now, which is really helpful to have the house smell like peppermint. I love that peppermint smell. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.